The crowded flight. The hum of Air France Flight 927 filled the cabin as passengers settled for the Paris to Ouagadougou journey. Clara Dubois, a seasoned flight attendant, moved swiftly through first class, checking seat belts. The cabin buzzed with executives in sharp suits, their briefcases stuffed with conference notes. Clara's smile was practiced, but her eyes scanned for trouble. Today, first class was packed, and a last-minute VIP had boarded, causing a stir. "Clara, we need a seat for Mr. Lefebvre, CEO of Eurotech," the cabin chief whispered urgently. "Find someone to move to business class." Clara nodded, her stomach tightening. These situations always sparked tension. She scanned the cabin, her gaze landing on a man in a simple linen shirt, reading a worn book on African governance. He wore no flashy watch, no tailored suit, just quiet focus. To Clara, he seemed out of place among the elite. She approached, her tone polite but firm. "Sir, we have a priority passenger who needs this seat. Would you mind moving to business class? We'll offer compensation." The man looked up, his deep brown eyes steady. "Is my presence an issue?" he asked softly, his French laced with a Burkinabe accent. Clara bristled slightly. "No, sir, it's just protocol." Heads turned, a few passengers smirked, sensing drama. The man marked his page, stood, and gathered his modest bag. "I'll move," he said calmly. Clara exhaled, relieved it was quick. "Thank you, sir. Your new seat's ready." She checked his name, Mr. Traore. Routine, she thought. But something in his serene nod lingered as she escorted him away. The business class shift. Clara led Mr. Traore down the aisle to business class, her heels clicking against the plane's carpet. The cabin lights glowed softly, and the hum of engines signaled takeoff was near. She gestured to a window seat, neatly arranged but less plush than first class. "Here you are, Mr. Traore," she said, her voice professional. "I'll bring your compensation voucher soon." Traore settled in, his movements unhurried. "No need for that," he replied, his tone gentle but firm. "Just a cup of tea after takeoff, please." Clara nodded, surprised by his dismissal of the offer. Most passengers haggled for upgrades. She returned to first class, where Mr. Lefebvre, the CEO, was already barking demands: extra pillows, a specific wine. Clara's focus shifted to him, but Traore's calm eyes stayed with her. As the plane ascended, she served drinks, catching glimpses of business class. Traore was reading again, his book's title catching the light, African Unity. A few passengers nearby whispered, glancing his way. Clara brushed it off, probably just curiosity about the seat swap. She poured champagne for Lefebvre, who chuckled loudly about standards in first class. Clara forced a smile, but her mind wandered. Why had Traore agreed so easily? His simple shirt, his quiet demeanor, it didn't add up with the confidence in his voice. She shook it off, blaming the long shift. "Clara, focus," she muttered, grabbing a tray. But as she passed business class again, a colleague, Miriam, leaned in. "That man you moved? He's someone big," she hissed. Clara frowned. "Big how?" Miriam's eyes widened, but the captain's voice crackled, calling her away. Whispers of truth. The plane cruised at 35,000 feet, clouds glowing faintly outside. Clara moved through business class, serving meals with mechanical precision. Her mind replayed Miriam's words, "He's someone big." She stole a glance at Mr. Traore, who sipped tea and read, oblivious to the occasional stares from passengers. His calm was unnerving, almost magnetic. Clara's tray wobbled as she handed out napkins, her thoughts racing. Could he be a diplomat? A tech mogul in disguise? She dismissed the idea, his plain clothes screamed ordinary. Back in first class, Mr. Lefebvre complained about his steak, his voice grating. Clara soothed him, but her focus slipped. She caught Miriam near the galley, restocking juice. What did you mean earlier? Clara whispered. Miriam glanced around, then leaned close. That's Ibrahim Traore, president of Burkina Faso. Clara's heart lurched. No way. A president? Alone, no guards? Miriam nodded. He travels light sometimes, for secret talks. I saw his name on the VIP list. Ouagadougou's expecting him. Clara's face flushed, her tray felt heavy. She'd teased a president, assuming he was unimportant. He didn't say anything, she stammered. Not a word. Miriam shrugged. That's him, humble, quiet. People love him for it. Clara's stomach churned. She pictured Traore's steady gaze when she'd asked him to move. Had he been testing her? She wanted to march over, apologize, but Miriam grabbed her arm. Don't. The captain said keep it discreet, diplomatic reasons. Clara nodded, dazed. She returned to her duties, but every smile felt forced. In business class, Traore turned a page, serene as ever. Clara's shame grew. How had she judged him so wrong? The plane droned on, carrying her regret. Turbulence within the plane hit a pocket of turbulence, jolting trays and passengers. Clara steadied herself, gripping a seat back in business class. Her eyes darted to Ibrahim Traore, who calmly secured his tea, unfazed by the shake. His book lay open, a pen marking notes in the margin. Clara's chest tightened, she'd misjudged a man of such presence. She forced a smile, offering blankets, but her thoughts spiraled. How could she fix this? She caught his gaze briefly, he nodded politely, no hint of resentment. It made her feel worse. In first class, Lefebvre grumbled about the bumps, demanding reassurance. Clara obliged, her voice hollow. Back in the galley, she confided in Miriam, her hands trembling. I teased a president, Miriam. I thought he was nobody. Miriam's eyes softened. You didn't know. We all mess up. Clara shook her head. I judged him by his shirt, his bag. That's not okay. Miriam squeezed her arm. Learn from it. That's what matters. Clara nodded, but the weight stayed. She returned to business class, pausing near Traore's seat. Everything all right, sir? She asked, her voice catching. He looked up, his smile warm. Perfect, thank you. The kindness stung. Clara hesitated, then blurted, I'm sorry about earlier. It wasn't fair. Traore's eyes studied her, gentle but piercing. You were doing your job, miss. Clara, she said. Clara, no harm done. His voice was steady, like a teacher's. She wanted to say more, but a passenger called for water. As she walked away, Traore's words echoed, no harm done. Yet harm lingered in her. The plane steadied, but Clara's heart didn't. She vowed to make this right, somehow, before landing. A lesson in view. The cabin lights dimmed as the flight stretched into its fourth hour. Clara moved through business class, her steps slower, her mind heavy with regret. Outside, the sky burned orange, a sunset slicing through clouds. She paused near Ibrahim Traore's seat, where he gazed at the view, his book resting on his lap. His face held a quiet reverence, as if the clouds spoke to him. Clara cleared her throat. Can I get you anything, sir? He turned, his eyes kind. This view is enough, he said, nodding to the window. Sit for a moment, Clara. Surprised, she hesitated, then took the empty seat beside him. I meant my apology earlier, she said softly. I judged you wrong. Traore's smile was faint but warm. Why did I move, Clara? Not because I had to. She frowned, confused. This seat, that class, it's all noise, he continued. What matters is how we carry ourselves, how we see others. His words landed like stones in still water. In my country, we learn dignity isn't bought with titles. It's earned in actions. Clara's throat tightened. I saw your book, not you. He nodded. We all do, sometimes. The trick is to look again. The plane trembled slightly, and Clara gripped her armrest. Traore chuckled. Life shakes us to teach us. She managed a smile. You could have stayed in first class. And missed this? He gestured to the sunset, now purple at its edges. Greatness hides in small things, Clara. She felt tears prick her eyes. His wisdom was a mirror, showing her flaws but offering hope. As she stood to resume work, she knew this moment would reshape her. Ripples of awareness. The plane hummed steadily, but whispers stirred in the cabin. Word of Ibrahim Traore's presence had leaked among the crew, then to a few passengers. Clara noticed heads turning toward business class, where Traore sat, still reading, unaware of the growing buzz. Her guilt sharpened, her mistake had sparked this. She moved through first class, pouring coffee for Mr. Lefebvre, who was now laughing loudly about a deal. His arrogance grated more than before. Clara's mind churned. She'd displaced a president for this man, all because of appearances. In the galley, Miriam pulled her aside. Clara, the captain's annoyed. Someone told a passenger about Traore. It's supposed to be secret. Clara's stomach dropped. Was it me? Miriam shook her head. No, but it's spreading. We need to keep it quiet. Clara nodded, but an idea sparked. She couldn't undo her error, but she could act now. She approached Lefebvre, her voice steady. Sir, we have a VIP in business class who deserves first class. Would you switch seats for the rest of the flight? Lefebvre's brow furrowed. Who's that? Clara hesitated, then said, the president of Burkina Faso. His eyes widened, ego flaring. A president? Absolutely, I'll move. Clara bit back a smile at the irony. She walked to Traore's seat, her heart racing. Mr. Traore, we'd like to invite you back to first class. He looked up, amused. Found out, did you? She nodded. I'm so sorry for earlier. He raised a hand. It's fine, Clara. She insisted, please, it's about respect. Traore paused, then nodded. For you, I'll go. As he stood, the cabin seemed to hush, sensing his quiet power. Returned to first class. Ibrahim Traore walked back to first class, his steps measured, his worn leather bag slung over one shoulder. Clara followed, her heart pounding with a mix of relief and pride. Passengers glanced up, some sensing a shift, others clueless but drawn to his calm presence. His simple linen shirt stood out against the tailored suits, yet he carried an authority no title could grant. Clara gestured to his original seat, now vacant. Here you are, sir, she said, her voice steady. Traore sat, offering a small smile. Thank you, Clara. Not for the seat, but for your heart. Her cheeks warmed. She returned to Lefebvre in business class, who was already boasting to a neighbor about meeting a president. Clara suppressed an eye roll, her respect for Traore growing. As she served drinks, she overheard murmurs, passengers piecing together who Traore was. A woman whispered, he's so unassuming. Clara's shame lingered, but it fueled her resolve. She approached Traore again, a tray of tea in hand. For you, sir. He accepted it, his eyes crinkling. You're learning fast, he said lightly. She laughed, tension easing. I had a good teacher. He leaned forward, voice low. Clara, never let appearances blind you. True worth is here. He tapped his chest. The words settled deep. The plane's lights flickered briefly, and Clara glanced out the window. Africa's outline emerged below, a tapestry of earth and shadow. Traore followed her gaze. My home, he said softly. Not rich in gold, but in spirit. Clara nodded, moved. She wanted to say more, but duty called. As she walked away, she felt lighter, as if his wisdom had lifted a weight she hadn't named. A changed perspective. The plane began its descent, the cabin alive with anticipation. Clara moved through first class, her movements smoother, her smile genuine. Ibrahim Traore's words echoed in her mind, true worth is here. She glanced at him, seated by the window, his book closed, eyes tracing the horizon. Ouagadougou's lights twinkled below like scattered jewels. Clara felt a pang, she'd almost missed this man's greatness. In business class, Mr. Lefebvre chatted loudly, oblivious to the irony of his seat swap. Clara no longer cared, her focus was Traore. She approached him, her voice soft. Mr. Traore, we'll land soon. Anything you need? He turned, his gaze warm. Just keep seeing people, Clara. She nodded, throat tight. I will. Thank you. He smiled, then looked out again. This flight taught us both, didn't it? She laughed quietly. More than I expected. The captain's voice announced landing preparations, and Clara checked seat belts. Passengers whispered about Traore, their curiosity now laced with respect. Clara overheard a man say, he's not like other leaders. She agreed silently, her heart swelling. As she passed Traore's seat, he handed her a bookmark from his book, a simple card with a proverb, dignity grows in humility. For you, he said. Clara clutched it, moved beyond words. The plane tilted, revealing Burkina Faso's vast plains. Traore's face softened, pride in his eyes. Come visit someday, Clara. See our spirit. She nodded, tears pricking. I'd love to. Duty pulled her away, but the bookmark felt like a promise. She tucked it into her pocket, vowing to carry its lesson. The cabin stilled, all eyes on the ground below, where Traore's quiet power awaited its welcome. The plane touched down in Ouagadougou, tires kissing the tarmac with a soft thud. Clara stood by the door, her heart full as passengers gathered their bags. Outside, the city's lights pulsed against the night, a quiet welcome for a man who needed no fanfare. Ibrahim Traore rose from his seat, his linen shirt slightly creased, his presence commanding despite its simplicity. Clara met his eyes, offering a respectful nod. Safe travels, Mr. Traore, she said, her voice steady but warm. He smiled, adjusting his bag. And to you, Clara. Keep learning. She clutched the bookmark in her pocket, its proverb now a guide. As Traore stepped toward the exit, passengers watched, some whispering his name. A few stood, as if drawn to his dignity. Clara noticed Mr. Lefebvre in business class, craning his neck, eager for a glimpse of the president he'd unknowingly displaced. She smiled wryly, the irony wasn't lost. At the gate, a small delegation waited, no red carpet, just men in modest suits with warm handshakes. Traore greeted them like old friends, his laugh soft but genuine. Clara watched from the door, her shame replaced by gratitude. He'd turned her mistake into a gift. A passenger passing by murmured, "That's leadership." Clara agreed, her perspective forever shifted. She returned to the cabin, helping stragglers, but her mind lingered on Traore's words, "See people." The plane emptied, leaving silence. Clara glanced at the bookmark again, its ink bold against the card. She tucked it away, knowing it would guide her beyond this flight. Ouagadougou's heat seeped through the open door, carrying promise. Clara exhaled, ready for what came next, changed by a man who shone without trying. A lasting lesson in her Ouagadougou hotel room, Clara sat by a small desk, the city's hum drifting through the window. She opened her journal, the bookmark from Ibrahim Traore resting beside it. Her pen moved quickly, capturing the day, "I teased a president today, thinking he was ordinary." Instead, he taught me to see. The proverb, dignity grows in humility, stared back, a quiet command. Clara's heart felt fuller, her mistake now a turning point. She pictured Traore's calm eyes, his words about Burkina Faso's spirit. They weren't just a lesson, they were an invitation to live better. She wrote, "Titles don't make greatness, actions do." The memory of the sunset from Traore's window lingered, its colors vivid in her mind. She vowed to look beyond suits and status, to find worth in every face. Months later, a letter arrived at Clara's Paris apartment, an invitation to a cultural program in Burkina Faso. Attached was a note in neat script, "Clara, come see our heart. Ibrahim Traore." Her breath caught. She traced the words, feeling the weight of their meeting. The program's dates aligned with her schedule, as if fate agreed. Clara booked her flight, her journal now thick with reflections sparked by that day. She'd share Traore's lesson with others, hoping to ripple his wisdom. Back in her hotel, Clara closed her journal, the bookmark safe inside. Ouagadougou's lights twinkled outside, mirroring the stars. She whispered, "Thank you, Mr. President," knowing she'd carry his truth forever. From a moment of error, Clara had gained clarity, a story to tell, and a path to Burkina Faso's spirit. Her change was complete, rooted in a lesson that would never fade.